This is Tim over at Higgs56.com. Today we're going to talk about the speedometer that is in this car, and it was broken when I bought the car, and I had to remove it and get it repaired. So that's what we're going to discuss that in this video. As I said, we're going to talk about the speedometers. Well, I have two speedometers, one for my parts car and one for this car. And originally I had the one for my parts car repaired, and the problem with that one was that the trip odometer was broken in that speedometer and needed to be repaired. And this is that trip odometer cable that's inside the car. When the speedometer is inside the car, this is attached so that you can get at it. One of the problems that I ran into, or one of the things that needs to be watched, is they are broken by turning the trip odometer when the car is moving. If you do that, it breaks it on the inside. This is that trip odometer that came out of the speedometer, and you saw a picture close up of what breaks, and it's this little plastic part in here that breaks because you turn it while the car is moving, and then it breaks this whole mechanism and makes the speedometer so it doesn't work. If you have a 1956 Buick with this type of speedometer in it, the reason they break is because people turn this trip odometer while the car is moving. So do not reset the trip odometer while the car is moving. Now, in this car that we're working on here, the problem was a different problem, and with the speedometer cable connected, all you heard was a grinding or clicking noise on the inside of the speedometer, but nothing moved. No speed was shown on the speedometer. The speedometer from this car, in it was this part is what was not correct or broken on this speedometer. The gentleman that repaired it told me that that he thought someone had gone into the speedometer at another time and messed this part up so it wouldn't work. So he had to replace it, and that's what fixed the speedometer. This part and that tube with the black and red on it are inside this box here, and it all gets mounted on the inside here, and this thing actually is inside of that tube, and it causes or it has to do with how much red is showing as you increase speed. This thing has something to do with turning that tube and making more of this red line show. The faster you go, the more red will show up in the on the inside of the speedometer. So anyway, that's I don't want to take it apart, but I'm just telling you that's what's inside here. Those are two problems that I had, but there may be other ones. I'm not sure, but those are the two that I had. And in order to get those repaired, the speedometer must be removed from the car, and I took mine to a gentleman in Reno that owns a store called Reno Speedometer. Good name. And he did the repairs on both of my speedometers. In order to remove this speedometer from the car, the first thing you got to do, you got to be able to get at it So you must remove the dash from the car so that you can get inside there, because the speedometer must be removed out that hole where the dash is. It won't come out the bottom. There's too much stuff in the way. So it's not that difficult. There's a series of bolts that hold the dash in, and a couple of screws in front. But once you get those out, then the dash just pops out by itself. So then, in order to remove the speedometer, you have some light deals that are stuck in here. You got to remove all those, and they just snap out, and it's held in by 4 bolts. And you must remove the speedometer cable, which is on the end of the speedometer. It goes inside here. You must remove that. And I had to take out the oil pressure gauge and the ammeter gauge, and had to take the screws out of that and remove and just kind of back them out of there, so that because you can't remove the whole cable, it goes through the dash, and it's just too hard to get out. So you just remove the ammeter and the temperature gauge from the thing, and then you can slip after the bolts are nuts are taken off of the bolts, and you can slide this back out and up out of the car like that.
So here's a shot of the inside of the dash. That dash cover goes right here. So the dash goes right along there. That's the first thing to take out. And the temperature gauges, ammeter, go right there. Speedometer is actually held on by these posts. And you just take a nut off of that. It's a 7/16 nut. That way you don't have to dig around in your toolbox. 7/16. And that's about it.